Now that the school is being torn down, you have said you hope the space can be created that honors your daughter and the other victims' legacies. What does that look like to you?
Well, there should be something there that enables us to remember the smiling faces, right? Their legacy should be the smiles and the laughter that they shared on that campus, not the horrible way in which were taken from our families. So we're hopeful that maybe we have some kind of water feature, something that should be able to be seen from the road to keep curious passerbys away from the campus. Additionally, we're building an off-campus memorial. People can find out more information about that off-campus memorial at parkland17.org and see the final stages of our design competition.
Thank you for that. It was hard hearing the account of walking through that site, that it was this time capsule with bullet holes. What was it like for you to walk that site?
Well, the first time we went in the building was just my wife and I. And of course, we went to the spot where Gina was shot. And we were able to see just how the perpetrator had entered the building and how he had come upon her, and how, unfortunately, she was on the wrong side of a locked classroom door in violation of school safety protocols.
Tony, I can't imagine what that was like. Did it give you any sense of closure? Was it an important thing to do, or did it just tear your heart out?
I think it was more the tear your heart out piece. There is no closure when you have a child who's murdered at her school. Every day we miss her. What has given us some solace, though, is taking numerous state and federal legislators through that building, bringing the head of the Secret Service, the director of the FBI, the Secretary of Education, as well as the Vice President through that building, being able to show what failed our families that day, what's been explained, what's been done since, especially here in Florida, which has done a great job of leading the way in school safety, and what still needs to be done, both on the state and the federal level.
I understand.
Because there is certainly so much more.
Yeah. I want to ask you, I know that you are advocating for safety, and this demolition is coming as new schools are being designed with so many of these features, these design features that just seem like a sign of the times. We know some schools are adding gates that can be locked during school hours. They were limiting shrubbery around a school to reduce hiding spots, adding a buzzer system at the entrance, windows with a special film that makes it harder to smash or shoot through it, classroom doors that can be locked remotely, lockdown buttons that can summon police, and automatically close hallway doors. Tony, how do we walk the line of protecting our students, but at the same time not having our educational institutions feel like prisons?
Well, I think the principles of SEPTED are really important, and that's got to do with the shrubbery and the trees outside, as well as a welcoming design that clearly marks the entrance where people should enter. All of these things, unfortunately, need to be in place. You walk through the school buildings now and you look at all the fire warning systems, exit signs, sprinklers, right? Nobody gives it a second thought. So we need to just accept that protecting our students and teachers at school is important. Stand with Parkland looks at that in a holistic way as part of securing the campus, improving mental health screening and support programs, and finally, if you choose to own one, ensuring responsible firearms ownership. Each of these things push and pull on one another. So all the things you had just mentioned are part of securing the campus. But again, we need to make the schools inviting. They should be brightly colored and painted appropriately. Again, having the entrances clearly marked. And most importantly, though, we need to make sure that these schools allow our children to come home safely to each family.
Absolutely. Tony, you are part of a growing cohort every single year in this country of families whose children are not coming home from school. What would you say to parents, to other parents who have gone through this, who will go through this in the coming months and the coming years?
Well, I think that our nation has to get serious about preventing this. And the most preventive tool we have is the behavioral threat assessment process. It's identifying kids that are exhibiting troubling behavior and then bringing together our mental health professionals, our law enforcement professionals, and our school professionals to get those kids and put them in the programs that they need to get them the help they need before they resort to violence.
Tony, I want to
And
make
I'll
sure to
just say,
ask you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry, the one thing that every community that's had a school shooting has had in common is a belief that it couldn't happen there. It
That's well
happened to
said.
us, and it can happen to you.
It's
So
well said.
please, we need to work through this
Tony, I hear
together.
you, and we are out of time, but I have to ask, tell us about Gina. What do you want us to know about her, this beautiful girl we see in these photos?
Gina was our firstborn, and she's the one who made me a dad very appropriately on this Father's Day weekend. Um, she was often the first one to reach out to make new friends. She was a straight A student. She was part of the school's color guard team, which she loved dearly. She was a Girl Scout, and she loved her little brother. And we miss her bright and bubbly personality every day.
Tony, thank you for sharing some of her with us. Thank you for the work that you do. Thank you for your time tonight.
Oh, thank you. Please go to standwithparkland.org to learn more. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.